Dear Heavenly Father, I am your Happy Healer coming to you, and we're going to go and open with prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, at this moment, I'm coming humble, as I always do, to talk to more people about the unbiased truth of our time and how love is under attack by greed, and how great people and their hearts are losing in a battle where they should be winning. I know my heart is winning, and I know that that's the energy we all need to be working with, is love. And so I pray, oh Almighty Powerful Lord, help us see that unbiased truth. Amen. Hello, I'm Keith Landi, your Happy Healer for President. It's nice to meet you. I'm going to come right over here, which is right off view of the camera. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to share this link for the show on my YouTube, on my social media. So I hope you're doing great, and of course I have a great one for you, and you're really going to enjoy it, because I'm going to get to what matters tonight to you Trump folks. I get you. I understand. Ultimately, I understand. Alrighty. And this evening, I want to share a very special message with my Trump-supporting folks who I know many of you take a brave stance. And recently I had in Orlando a guy by the name of Randy Ross who took an extreme sort of measure that gave me confidence in what I'm doing. And he shared my ability as a moderator of a local group that were all Trump supporters, and they were all higher ups, and it was great because they were elected in important positions, and so I was really proud of that. Okay folks, we're gonna get this underway right now. I'm done sharing it out a bit, which is sometimes makes the beginning of the show a bit slowed down, but then we get going really hard, like we're getting ready to go now, because I do have a very serious message for you guys. It's so important the times that we're in. So we're just having to be realistic about that. And that's all I'm doing. And I'm coming from you as an American that cares. I love this country like you do. It's the reason why I voted for Donald Trump in the first place, just like you did. It is that reason. Make no mistake, I get you, and I understand. Us conservatives, we want things done right, and we want things to be fair. I am the best at that, and I am a fair person, and I've been in most perspectives that matter. And I've been a businessman, a salesman, an actor, an artist, an entrepreneur, and I've lived on the street, and I've lived in nice homes. I've had at one point 2 homes, and 4 cars, and a better life too. I even had a plane, and I was able to learn to fly, and I did my best to learn from all of these experiences, and I know that we need someone from the bottom that is a caring and fair thinker. and that is pure in heart and mind. And I have worked hard to become the happy healer, and for me it's a very spiritual journey I love with all of my heart. And people make light of that and they joke about it, but I'm dead serious about it, and I think they feel themselves a bit foolish when they realize how serious I am, because I'm living a life worth living, and God spared me twice. And my being here is a miracle in its own right. I used to take pain pills, and it was a bad truth then. And I was able to do that stupid stuff from the success that I had. And that's what greed affords. And it's just sad. And we can't be in a world like that anymore. When we have the technology and the desire of the people who love and love God and love each other, and to be like that, we owe it to ourselves to do so much better. And as your next president, I will. I promise you that. Of course, because I'm coming from the bottom, I'll always be pure coming up. And that through it all, you can gauge me. I will be completely open the whole time and will never stop being open. I don't want you to ever think that I'm up to no good like these other candidates. I'm proud of my life, and I don't want to hide as they do. And I have no other reason to do anything but this, because I am already out to make a life worth living, because we're losing. Everything so fast that matters most to us is under attack, and the left and the right are in freedom warfare these days, and it's always us who gets the shaft. The Americans, they get the freebies and making every opportunity easiest for them, and you know it's true because that's how greed works. All of that, while the hardly impure average American works hard and therefore saves hard for a future that is not guaranteed, while the thievery of their money is all but robbed from them, and the American works hard and saves harder, and those reckless, cunning, and corrupt has spent that money on the daily basis, and they spend it in full, just as the people produce, the greed spends, and it never stops. The love produces everything, and the greed destroys everything, and demands and takes and leaves with as little as nothing. And perhaps anything as little as possible is what greed is always out to do. And we have to make this future that people have been imprisoned, changing that imprisoned future into a future of a life that is worth living. We're about to headlong into a cold civil war gone hot, and President Donald Trump is stoking differences. At the end of the day, he is our president, and I respect him. As such, it's up to him to make sure that we get our unity back. And like I have always said, Donald Trump or any Democrat gives us the unity that we need to keep the promise to hardworking Americans. We need unity to meet the challenges of our many national security needs. And we need the unity to meet the challenges of our enemies pose. And it's in a clandestine nature, and they're wishing in some cases, successfully stirring upon us disunity, pushing upon our people to be discombobulated, and ending up successful beyond measure. How pitiful that we're not disappointing them at all. And yet we do this over and over again, and we're getting deeper and deeper and closer to a day we can never get back, my fellow Americans. We have already seen people start to lose their cool, and I try hard every day to make a better world for living. I'm your happy healer, and that's my job. And as an American, I love my country, and I owe it to myself, and all of us owe it to ourselves to do our part. But really think about this for a moment. We have thieves of our days spending the moment, all of our lives, working for a promise that we have yet to keep that dies every day. They march us into a civil war. Americans have the tentacle of greed lash out and infect every aspect of their lives. And we have all learned how to become greedy in our hate too, unfortunately. That has to stop, my fellow Americans. Average Americans suffers with greed, and average Americans are stuck with trying to make concessions in their own lives with their own families and others. People that they have to watch suffer while they experience the American dream. That can affect families caught up in the two Americas. And while some are doing well and others are taunted by the fact that they are not. And we see that resentment in society in our two Americas. The average American is allowing greed to affect the thinking, and they make things right that shouldn't be right. And how can we expect our leaders to be pure when our friends can't be? That's why you lend me the trust and support from the bottom, and see that I am nominated as the Democratic nominee so that we can assure ourselves a life worth living, because anything short will fail to meet the many challenges of our time, like China and Russia and the war within our own country and the growing struggles folks are having, leading to mass shootings and more. We have to fix our broken American spirit. And when I mean we have to do this fast. It's up to us three very free thinkers that want self-determination, or folks, we're going to lose that. That is our great test if we can do this. Whether we can use the tools around us to pass the test of love will make the difference between a peaceful, happy future that's possible through hard work and ingenuity, which we know is just a matter of turning that great American ingenuity on, just as we have in the past. It is time. My candidacy shows that I am an honest candidate, and that I have a charming character. And quite frankly, the American people will like even more than Trump. And I do right. And I try hard and I never stop. But just for the right reasons. And I love. And I work for God. And I work for you, my fellow Americans. Free, I believe in our greatness. I really believe each and every one of us have so much value and purpose in this life. I just know how true that is because I love you, and because I trust you, and because I bear myself to you. You know that I'm telling you the truth and that I'm reasonable. And yet I need your love and trust, and together that we move for love and not just greed, and that love never asked you, and that nobody ever did it, but the need was there. So you know what? I stepped up, and that's why I am here, and that's how we'll rebuild this country should I win. And I'll be in Orlando a lot because I'll be working in my community a lot, like I expect of all Americans. We have so much fun work to do. We're going to learn how to grow our own age of enlightenment, just like we've had once before. We need once again, and yet this time it's long overdue, isn't it? Being held back by nefarious forces, and I say it's greed. And we need a great age of redemption. Greed has touched every soul, and we need a new start. We have to have a new way of thinking. Our children in time to come, are you aware that we're fast ahead towards a civil war? And that's a danger that we already know to be true for the death that we've seen already, and the fact that we're now in a soft civil war. Yet folks are pretending that it's not happening, and that for some reason the left and the right are in a death struggle, and that we have a chance right now. In a way, that's great news for normal people who have always had to fight from the bottom, wouldn't you say? Plus, we need a communicator as a president in this day and age. I would be a great communicator, since a very long time ago that we've ever had a great communicator as president, and that's something we need right now. and to calm people down and to inspire a direction that drives a purpose-driven life. And that's something that we don't have right now, my fellow Americans. So I ask you to be bold, and I ask you to be brave, and I tell you to come on this journey with me and to realize that we're doing something special because the times call for it, and that our children's future calls for just doing that. If we fail to meet the times and the challenges of our time, we're going to pay for it in the most obscene ways. And I have said this over and over again. I have talked about all of these shootings before they have happened. I have said the reason for it is a broken American spirit, and that because of that broken American spirit, we're marching everlong into this freedom warfare that's costing our freedoms from every sense that you can imagine. From the right, they have their certain ideas that certainly take ideas and freedoms away from self-determination, away from people that matter. And from the left, they do the same thing. Before you know it, we have no freedoms left, my fellow Americans. Self-determination itself is under attack. And let me tell you, it is true that the right is against us in this, because now Donald Trump is coming out, and it's not guns. And now it's also freedom of speech, because now we're talking about the internet. And how can we ever have somebody, a truth teller, come forward? And you better get to it soon in today's environment. So that's why I'm here. And I know what they have been doing. I see it. You see it. We all see it. Are we going to change the world and make this a life worth living? Are we going to have purpose in this world? That's the big question. That's the big question. I say yes. I say yes. And I vote yes. And I think you do too. And that's why so many of us supported Donald Trump from the beginning. Because we wanted that big old fat ranch, didn't we? We know that with that fat ranch brings a new day in America. Allows for something like this. Think about how beautiful it is, but the right person has to step forward. I contend I'm that right person. However, if there is even a better person, then let's get that person. But you know what? I have waited for so long, and I have prepared myself. I am so confident that I am that right person. Let that be the test of the challenge to choosing our next president of the United States, and not anything else, because these times count on it, and you know it. You know it. We all know it. And quite frankly, we can have a brave future where we're creating with the power of love, and we're addressing people's needs in this lifetime so that the greed can stop gnawing at our feet. Trust me, all Americans want this. In that we can build a future and a life worth living. So important. That is my campaign promise. That is where I am headed in my campaign, and it'll always be the goal of our campaign together, is to make a life worth living. Because that is our ultimate goal, and it'll always be our ultimate goal, because we all have purpose and value that is given to us by our Creator, and that together we can make a world that's worth living in, and that we can make a world worth having children in, and we can talk about things like abortion, and we can talk about things that right now we don't put people first. That's what conservatives want. They want to know that their hard work into the American spirit is paying off. They want a good bet. They want a final solution for taking care of Americans in a way that it's complete. And that was bad wording. I am not a politician, folks. I am completely aware of how we are to conduct ourselves, but I am realistic. I am realistic to our times. And our times call for better people. And it calls for honesty. And it calls for addressing these issues, the ones that are separating us and causing us, unfortunately, some very dire times in America today, even in our future, should this war happen. A war is tough. I've studied history, and I know you have too. We have all seen the devastation, and that's how I know that my poor choice of wording had to have been called out by myself in the moment. And that's the kind of president that you have in me. Somebody who is conscientious of that history, conscientious of our American experiences, and can see the truths of our time. And I contend I have even seen miracles, and I believe you have too. We live in a great, great time, but we have to take advantage of that time. God has made us the ability to talk right now just from me to you in such a way that gets this message of love, and that is magnificent. It is so special because we are losing that when they say we can't have freedom of speech online, and that people are ruining that because they're delivering ideas that only help stoke that division. We have to pull back. It's ruining our self-determination. The death is people are getting scared, and they're doing obscene things. That's why I say we have to be able to pull back from this freedom warfare. And we need a comforting voice, somebody that helps effect calm in the human spirit, that can talk to the human spirit, that can say, no worries, everything's going to be okay. We know it will be. I want you to take time to get used to your Happy Healer, because the problem here is bandwidth. There is so much complex and depth to me, my character, because I know my self-worth and value, so I put the effort into being a special human being, and that is what love does. And I have to convey to you all so much that shows to you my preparation for this job. And you better believe your Happy Healer is prepared to be President of the United States of America. America. Land of the free, home of the brave. But yet, we lost our courage when she needed it most. We lost our courage, but we're getting it back. And that is the job of your Happy Healer. We rebuild that faith. We rebuild that faith in people who have long lost their faith, and we elect a leader who can do that. That's right. This way, we have hope of confronting and surpassing with the American spirit that is renewed and repaired, and that loves just like it has always done before, and does it in unity. Unity is a great thing, my friends. After 9/11, we had over a 90% unity in this country. Where did all that love go? I contend we love each other, and we're so close on the issues when we do things right and when we respect each other. Why is my candidacy a realistic one? And I talk about it often. We have a path to victory, or I wouldn't be here. That's right. We have a clear path to victory. And it's an easy victory. All you have to do is, in sufficient numbers, show the Democrats that you're willing to go on this journey with me, and they come along. It's that simple. Love does that work. You know that. I am your Happy Healer. So, I'm making that case with the Trump people. They are my people. I am them. We are all Trump people. And I love Trump. That's fine. I love all people. We don't have time for hate. And beyond that, I voted for Trump. And I admit that. And the reason why I did that is because of this run now. I knew opening up that door for this run was essential if we were ever to have somebody from the bottom lead with courage and show that it can be done in a pure way. Then we can actually have these things that we're demanding. Otherwise, we're allowing greed, which means we're making a sellout. And when you sell out to greed, greed never gives back to you because you're giving it power. And that power will ensure we have problems that we currently have. The hell that you experience on the daily basis and makes me so sad to see. And the racism and bigotry. My goodness. It seems to go on forever, and that the bigotry and racism and everything that is so sick from the human spirit being so sick and it needs love, and that we just keep giving it more hate and locking it down. I say, Lady Liberty herself is in handcuffs. She's shackled. We have to let her go. And the only way to do that is to get to a loving American spirit that's vibrant and whole and growing strong. And in the age of electronics and technology where it's at today, there is no excuse why artificial intelligence together with robotics is not doing more to get people out of factories and back into their homes to work on the human job, the human spirit. All of this stuff we see happening. It's important work. We spend so many hundreds of billions and trillions of dollars between all the 50 states and federally just giving companies kickbacks to employ more people. This is insanity, and it's not even conservative. People need their time back. It is their American ingenuity their fathers and mothers of the past worked for. And remember, then it was only one father working for a family of 4. They could do that on 40 hours a week. Now, it takes 2 parents working. It takes working 40 to 80 hours a week. It takes such a commitment to survive in the year 2019 just to have your sustenance. What if your goal is to be Gandhi? My goodness. What if you were the next Einstein? Even back in Einstein's day, he had to be a clerk, but then they did not have the ability to make it better. And we do. We are the richest country on this earth. There's no reason why the American people have paid for so hard that today the American brand itself represents 25% of the global economy. Yet the average American, so many of them living in this 2 Americas, they have to watch people coming in, starting off, and they're paying for that. And yet Americans are dying on the street, and in my program we will show that because I am close to it. And that's why you choose your Happy Healer for this job, because he's saying he is a whole person. He has been through so many perceptive experiences that helps him to be prepared for this job, and that he speaks to you in a way that you understand. You get that. You get all of this stuff, and that we have to fix it. And that love allows for complicated solutions, and so many of them, because greed wants a one-size-fits-all. Greed doesn't care. Greed promises and never shows up. Love promises and comes back twice. Just to make sure you're still happy. Folks, we have a clear choice in this race. Do we want to inspire a leader, somebody who's going to unite this country, bring Democrats and Republicans together at a time we are in a soft civil war? Is it not for us to do that for our children when any smart, honest broker of truth can't look into the future and see peace, no matter which side you're on? Because the Democrats have made it so impossible to get behind their policies that they are scary to vote for. And that Trump himself works with hate, but is more acceptable, and the concession is made. Folks, we need another choice. The right choice with a right plan, and this one can get it done. You follow me to the Democratic Party. We create the unity this country needs. We tweak a few things and we win. And we beat Trump. That's the path, my fellow Americans, and it can be done. And I told you I'd explain it to you. And the way we do this is simple. You follow me there, and they see that this is the candidacy and they want Trump gone so bad. We can use that to our advantage, and they want that to be used. There is nothing wrong with that. We are using an opportunity to bring our people together that God has made possible for us, the people. When all of them fail, this hole opens up so it can be done. And that's great. And that's not all. The Democrats are already liking your HappyHealer. I have 2 of them right here on staff. And also, besides that, I have more people in the neighborhood all ready to work for me. I live in a black neighborhood, and I myself, it seems like by divinity, I'm gay. Can you believe that? And no, I can't choose that. I wish, right? But I am gay. And I love myself. And it's okay. I am God's truth looking right back at you. I'm comfortable in that fact. I am so comfortable in that fact. And I think I'm a unifying force. And out of all of that, I think I am a progressive force. That I move all of the people and that I can get them motivated in order to build the future that we need for love. I'm so confident. And the more I think about it, I say I'm the perfect person for that. And no, I'm so humble. I am your humble HappyHealer. I never want to tell you how to live your life. I want to give you that self-determination back and to see you through living the passions you have in your heart and to see them realized. That's what I want. I want to make you proud as you're proud and HappyHealer. And that's what we should all be pride-driven about, not about the hate. Pride is a weapon. Pride is so dirty. At times, if you allow it to be, it can get you in so much trouble. It's either driven by egotistical reasons or it's driven by love. So it's one of those things that seems like it could be one or the other, and you don't know what's behind it until you do know. When a father looks at his daughter, and in the world we're building, not this world, but the world we're building, the first question won't be, what do you do for a living? Because we won't be letting people die on the streets. That love covenant you make between you and your family, well, that family gets a bit larger, that's all. And we get so much done as an American family. Our American spirit is repaired. That is so important. That's how we win together. That's how we build this new world. And we know we're ready for a new world. Everybody wants that. The right, the left, everybody. And no matter who you are, you realize that we have these grave issues, including some people on the left believe that this world only has 12 more years in terms of the global warming concerns. And let me tell you, the scientists agree, and I believe in science. This is God's science, and so we should be prepared, but not just for the things that we already see happening. I see this stuff happening in the hurricanes. I live in Florida, and I know God has put me in the path of these storms so that I could see the clarity of the truth of the times that we live in, and so that I could be prepared for this moment now, unlike any other American has prepared themselves to be. So why should I not step up and run then? Because I'm an ordinary American? That's a strength. That's why I laugh at that. especially in these times. Genuine people, they're rare, and we need them. And we need more people to become their very genuine selves, to be living their passions. That's what your daughter will be asked. What is your passion? What do you do to give back to humanity? What is your life purpose in this life? Of course, it's to love. And we are all so many things. I'm a pilot, and I like to fly the drones. I do it so well. I get respect of the top people in the drone industry. They see what your Happy Healer can do. So I'm your Happy Healer, and I treat people great. I was doing Airbnb and had people coming through my home, and I've had about 2,500 guests over 2.5 years, and that makes me so proud to have learned about so many people from all over the world, and so many Americans, and hearing about their struggles. It prepares me. All of that. And the work that I've done, working for Boston Market, starting at such a young age, and my mentor, Cliff, who I followed and seen how great he did. We ran a spick and span restaurant, and I learned how to lead those people and to do a great job and make them feel appreciated. And I said, the work you do is a picture portrait of yourself. It hangs on the wall for all to see, and it's up to you to decide how that picture should look, and it's best represented in the work you do. So, do a great job. And they listened, because people can be inspired. That's right. And we need an inspirational leader. And enough with this crazy, unrealistic attempt to destroy our country through a civil war by outside forces with nefarious ideas that the American people are confused and discombobulated, but we can pull back because true heroism is within the American people. It's part of their story. And that true heroism was never defined by those who fought but did not fall. It's defined by those who fought and fell. And on this, my fellow Americans, I know we shall rise again in unity with your Happy Healer, showing unity's the way, that we can all do better and live a happier life and build a stronger country for it. And I see and hear about broken bridges today. Sent these cars flying into the air. This was in the news today on Click Orlando. And these cars went flying into the air, and I left a comment and I said, that's how greed does things. It overcharges and underdelivers, where love, we know how love does things. It builds the best and comes back the most. Make sure it never happens. So if it was love, that never would have happened. That's why we have to get to a loving world and to trust in that love. And that when I did it in my life, I gained a life worth living, even after losing my father. That's right, in 1998, from a scaffolding accident, C1, C2 vertebrae, just like Christopher Reeves. He was a paraplegic. And he was a stellar individual for his time, having to work at the age of 57 so hard just for his sustenance. He was a physical specimen for his age. He should have been here now. Unfortunately, that accident took his life. He was in 3 months that condition, and he did not have Christopher Reeves health care. And he paid the price because we didn't care or love then. And that science is not engaged with love now. To solve these issues fast, we have to usher in this new age in order to beat China at this technological game. You tell me who has better answers for these things and more realistic answers. Remember, they can't get anything done, neither Trump nor the Democrats, without unity. We're going to bring a unity, and we're going to get all this done. We're the most realistic candidacy, and we have a hole and a path for victory. I just need you to see it too, and to trust in me and the plan that we're talking about right here. It's scary. Think about it. It's the deal that we made. We made that deal. You know you made that deal. We all made it. We have to think about how we're going to do this, how we're going to fix these problems. It's on all of us. We voted for Donald Trump. We made that deal. We threw that wrench, and now we have to do something. You know it. This is on us. And it's on the people. That's why the Democrats come along. They understand that is on the people. That's why I'm here. And I have to have courage to be here. I have been yelled at and spit at so many times in my life. Perhaps that's God's way of preparing me for this mission too. And it's a noble one. And it's a sane one. And it's a life-sustaining one. And it's a loving one. And it's an open one. That's the beauty of it. That's how truth is. It's open. Truth is open for everybody. It's there for you to do the math and to decide for yourself whether this sounds like an honest broker of truth, working for the people and from the perspective of the people or not, and to make a choice. And to say, do these policies sound like they will work? And then to make that decision ironclad by getting behind this campaign, advocating for this campaign, and realizing that this campaign also will need funds, and that while I, your humble and happy healer right now, am barely getting by, there'll be a day when we're doing so much better, and it'll be because of you, and you'll know where I have come from, and that we'll stay humble, and that we'll stay getting stronger and getting better every single day, and that we will use that love in our campaign to build a strong campaign. Love organizes while greed destroys, and greed is disorganized and clumsy. Our love will be there with its passion. We know what we're building, and that's about so much more than just money. It's building a loving world, and it's doing it right here in America, recognizing that people are dying on the streets, and the more we allow America to have more people in it, the less this change is possible to happen for the American people, and that we're not getting this work done. We're too busy arguing with each other. And now that I could tell you from the vantage point that I see and the people whom I see struggling and what they tell me, and I have it on record and I'll share it, and I am sharing it, and it's in previous episodes, but the fact is they are scared of people coming in over the border that are coming from faraway lands, who come from poverty, who that they themselves are struggling, and they deserve a way up too. Just like your happy healer. I have no way to pay for my medication for tomorrow. And I have to take my medication on the daily basis, and without it, I am sick. So why is that fair? That Americans have to go through that, while our love is being spent in such silly ways. It's unconscionable. We could be doing so much better, and we owe it to ourselves to be doing better. Yeah, I may not be a Harvard candidate, and I'm fine with that, and I'm sure you are too, because we know that you can get one of those if the price is right. And the only price here is our salvation and doing the right thing. So my fellow Americans, you love America, I love America. Think about the times we're in. Trump supporters, this is for you. I love you guys. We're in this together. Come with me. Help me. Donate to the cause. We'll be able to do such special things. And because we work with love, our energy is a building one. When it builds fast. And it's strong. and it's loyal, all the things you love. We're building a family. This is an American family, and it's an honest one. It's truth, justice in the American way, and it's self-determination best realized. That is what America is about, because we're pulling back from a civil war. We're saying our self-determination declares we shall not have a civil war, that we shall have unity, and we make it then and therefore happen. And we know it can be done. God has given us the way, and here I am for whatever it is, better or worse, and I am calling myself as I see it. I am your happy healer, and I have been that for a long time for those who have listened, and I have helped walk people back from off that edge and not choose to go down the bad path. And they have happy lives for it, and that's what we need for this country, is hope and faith and belief in a future that's worth having. Instead of this idea that our essence, as some have said, that it's wrapped up in our money. That our essence is wrapped up in our money. And instead of accepting that, and accepting that that money is wrapped up in a 50 or 100-year future that is not promised, while in the next 5 years they're marching us into a civil war. Folks, I know you're smarter than that, and you've seen what happens when you get Enron. Or Bernie Madoff in America. They don't care. There's no heart. Remember? As I always say, love don't pay so well in America. It's just so true. And you know it too. So help your happy healer. The information is on the screen. Go to that site. It's not my normal site. My normal site is down because I can't afford to pay it right now. Well, what do you know? From your humble and whole, yet wholesome happy healer. And we'll always be a whole individual, no matter how humble we have to be. We all have to be humble. We all have to be humble. So you go to that right there, that site, and that one is on, and that you can donate and help this campaign so that we can actually make this happen. And no matter what, I'm with you for the whole ride, because I don't stop. Whether we win the presidency or not, I am happy healing. That is my life mission. I love happy healing. It's what I do. So let's fight for this truth, justice in the American way. And I'm inspired by you folks who work so hard. I see you, and I can't wait to get out there. And if you run a church locally, or if you're part of a church, please talk to your pastor and tell him, have your happy healer over. I would love to talk to your congregation. And if you can get me in front of a crowd of your friends, or if I'm welcome to come and speak, please contact your happy healer. The phone number is 407. This is a local Orlando number. 984 5075. 407-984-5075. Do call that and talk to me. I'm your happy healer. I've already showed who I am and what my challenges are. It's not that bad. We're good Americans, and we deserve better. Okay, folks, I'll be back on very soon. Do your part. Help. Get involved. God bless you.